Brazilian defense sources said it is preparing for the delivery of the second batch since the first 5 Guarani 6x6 wheeled APCs were delivered by Brazil to the Philippines a few months ago. Most of the Philippine Army's VBTP Mr. Guarani 6x6 wheeled armored personnel carriers, which are likely to head to the Philippines, are being prepared for shipment from the port of Santos on Wednesday, December 20, 2023. The Philippines is expected to receive the first batch before the end of the year, or in January 2024. The Philippine Army will receive all 23 remaining Guarani APCs in the first or second half of 2024, according to sources in Brazil. The Philippines acquired 28 Guarani 6x6 armored personnel carriers from Israel's Elbit Systems, which were manufactured by Brazil's Iveco defense vehicles. The first batch of Iveco Latin America Guarani 6x6 armored personnel carriers is now on the way to the Philippines from Brazil. As per the report of Brazilian defense page Tecnologia and Defesa, the first 5 vehicles were seen at the port of Santos in Brazil embarking on a commercial cargo ship bound for the Philippines. The vehicles are expected to arrive by mid-December 2023, which means the ship may need to stop somewhere first before reaching the Philippines. The first 5 units of VBTP Mr. Guarani from Brazil are set to be delivered to the Philippines by mid-December after the Germans lifted the ban on the Brazilians earlier this year. This comes as the Philippine Army also received its Sabra tanks, which we reported here earlier this week. Apparently, a Brazilian outlet reports that the Philippines may set up a follow-up order for the purchase of these armored vehicles, although it may possibly put them on hold given the current stance of the government regarding external defense and its proactive attributes. This means that while there is a plan to get more of these vehicles in the future, it may be set aside as the armed forces of the Philippines is set to prioritize the acquisition of more naval vessels and fighter aircraft. The report also said the rest of the vehicles are expected to be delivered to the Philippine Army before the end of 2024 and that another batch of 28 vehicles is being negotiated between the Philippines and Brazil. The vehicles are expected to be assigned to the Armor Division but will be attached to the Brigade Combat Teams, which means the next 28 vehicles will be for the soon-to-be-established 2nd or 3rd BCT. After resolving the impasse with Germany, the Philippine government is negotiating a second batch of Guarani armored vehicles, comprising another 28 vehicles. The Filipinos are interested in purchasing a total of 114 Guaranis, with different configurations, in 3 lots. So it appears that we'll see a more different AFP in the 88th Armed Forces Day Parade on December 21, 2023. With the ASCOD-2 Sabra tanks, Guarani wheeled APCs, and possible participation in the parade if ever they arrive before the AFP anniversary. After months of negotiations between the parties involved, government and company, Germany, through the Government Office for Export Controls, lifted its embargo on 6 components manufactured in the country and used by the 6x6 Guarani medium-wheeled armored personnel carrier, allowing its export to the Philippines. A Brazilian defense page reported that Germany had already lifted an export ban for German-made systems, including Brazilian-made Iveco Guarani 6x6 armored vehicles that were bound for delivery to the Philippines. It would be remembered that Israel's Elbit Systems won a contract to supply 28 6x6 wheeled armored personnel carriers, with Iveco Latin America's Guarani 6x6 armored vehicle selected by Elbit Systems due to their cooperation in its development and delivery for the Brazilian Army. Guarani 6x6 armored personnel carriers bound for the Philippine Army, as 5 units were said to have been handed over by Iveco Latin America to Elbit Systems for integration of Elbit-supplied equipment. The 5 armored personnel carriers are expected to be delivered to the Philippines soon.